We recycle, we create with all recycled materials, fabrics, and supplies. And if you are coming back, thank you so much for coming back. I am wearing one of my Boro Sashiko hats because it is one of those days where, so the temperature is in the 80s, so it's really too warm for me to put on a sweater, and I'm feeling like I'm starting to feel like wearing hats again. I go through a couple of months, those really hot months. I really don't want a hat on, to be honest. But when we get into August, like the end of August, I'm wearing hats for the rest of the year. So anyway, happy Friday. And let me just put this over here. I kind of want to share a couple, I'll leave it there for a minute. I want to share a couple things with you. As you know, so I hope that you really enjoyed the video on the website, on the SIBA.com website. And if it's something you're interested in, I know I was reading a lot, and it may have seemed monotonous to some, but for those of you who don't read, you know, on the internet, there's people who listen to it more than they read, and so that may have been a little helpful for some people, I hope. And so anyway, I wanted to share a couple things with you. We're going to put some beads on this apron, and we're going to finish it up, well, pretty nearly. Today's the day. And then we will be focusing on some other things. So I wanted to share with you this little chair that I made. This was a hack, and I had read to you some of the channels that I was looking at on YouTube. And some of the really awesome artists. Let's see if I still have some of their names. I might. And that are making clothespin crafts. So they're making clothespin crafts, and I was really taken away with this because what I'm going to do, and what I learned from them, I thought I had kept their names. I'm sorry, just give me a second here. And we'll see if we can get a name or two. Well, it's way back here. It shows how much work we're doing on this channel. I can't find it. But if you look up clothespin crafts, you will find a whole bunch of different, really innovative ideas and different things that you can make for gifts. So I went ahead and I made this little rocking chair just to kind of get an idea on how to coordinate and how to work with the clothespins. And basically, so what I'm going to do, I just made this, you know, like just for the heck of it. And the thing is, she kept saying straight through it, keep it straight, keep it straight. And of course I didn't. So, hi Olga, how are you? Hi Richard, Rigello, OJ. Well, OJ, you can't make this stuff up. So here, I have the clothespins, and these cost like less than $2, okay? But you take them apart, so you have this part of the clothespin to work with. And the concept is they're taking the clothespins, they're gluing them back to back, or they're gluing them side to side, and they're making these different designs. So what I decided to do, because making a dragonfly, I want to make a dragonfly to kind of go with one of my outfits. And I want it to be something that can be carried, I'm not sure how yet. I might even put it on a hat. Okay, so it's going to be one of those avant-garde. That's the only way I know how to say it. Hi, Rose. How are you? Thanks for being here. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do the hack, but I'm taking the concept of using the clothespins to design the shape, a shape of a dragonfly or a butterfly. I think it's a dragonfly I want to make. But then I'm going to use it as a base. So I'm going to use it as a wood base. And I'm going to bring you with me because I have lots and lots of pieces of old, broken, what do you want to say, sea glass, like sea glass, or, maybe a mug that broke. Very beautiful, beautiful pieces of glass like that. So we're going to take those pieces of glass and together we are going to make a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mosaic. I'm not going to use a lot of chemicals, resin, and all of that. I'm not going to do that. But anyway, that's the concept of the clothespin. Check it out, because as a designer, you learn these different things and you can incorporate them with your own creativity, what you're thinking you want to do, but you can use these different ideas. Skills is really what it is. It's a skill set. So, it's the same with these, let's see if I can grab this here. The same with these wine corks, okay? You go out there and you look on YouTube and you're like, okay, what can I do with these? And you see, well, we made the little gnomes, okay? So you see that over and over. And then you see, some other little things like little tables, and you see a bunch of things over and over. But being a creative and being an artist and knowing what it is you're looking for, you can be inspired by the skill set and then go ahead, and take these little items and make whatever you want to make the way you want to make it. Oh, so you probably want to know what all this is, right? I'm going to be sharing with you, we're going to be doing some caricatures, and so I want to share with you. You may see on this channel way back, I shared some caricatures with you. I shared a lot of them over on the TikTok platform at that time, and so I just want to share with you how I practice, and if any of you are interested in doing the cartoons of people, caricatures. So it's not difficult, at least the way I do it. It's not. So anyway, with that, I'm going to put the camera up here, and what we're going to do today is we're going to pretty much finish putting the beads on this apron. Now, I did decide something. I was going to put the pocket on the apron. I was going to put it kind of towards the back of the polar bear, but I gotta be honest, no matter where I put this pocket, to me, I feel like it really obscures the main design here of this polar bear. This piece could actually just be a wall hanging, and it's definitely a statement piece, but it could be a wall hanging. So this, what I'm going to do with this, and I'll show you before we leave today, is we're just going to do some sashiko stitching around it. And you're like, well, Carmella, why don't you kind of put another piece and make it a bag? Because I don't want to make it a bag. I just want it to be a pocket. And I want it to be just something a little different. So it's just like a little shoulder. It's hanging from the shoulder. It's just a little pocket or a cross shoulder. So if someone's working and they just want a little pocket, it's there. So that's kind of my thought on it. It's more of an aesthetic than it is going to be something highly functional. So we'll put that over there. Now the beads, I gotta tell you, I'm very excited over these, and let me just get I want to share it with you. I want to share a couple things with you first that I got. And tomorrow, guess what? We're going to be doing some thrifting, and I'll be sharing that with you. But I had to go over to Walmart to get some notebooks, okay? And they have a whole section there, back to school, everything's on sale. And then as you walk in the back and you check where the notebooks and the art paper is, you find these, and guess what? These were 38 cents each. I kid you not. And up in the front where the school things were like $4.99, $5.99, 38 cents. Now the reason I got these, and I was happy to get them that cheap, is I take them and just for scrap paper. One I'll keep for a notebook probably, and the other I'll be practicing my caricatures on. And this other paper I showed you, the copy paper, is paper I may use if I'm doing a caricature and giving it to someone. So, but these are like all scrap. So 38 cents. I wanted to share that. So I got that. The other thing I got, for those, here, I'll put this back up for a minute because I really do want to talk to you about this. For those of you who are interested in Boro Sashiko, doing the Boro like this, you know, making your hat. I love this hat. I'm going to be honest. I love, love, love this hat. Let's see, I could turn it this way. You can turn this hat. I'm going to just take that off there and just get comfortable here. I can turn it this way. I love it this way too. But this way is the, this way, I just love. Okay, so this hat does not have a lining, and you can roll these hats up like this if you want. And we'll make some hats. I want to make more hats, and really want to get a lot of these done, and that will be a project we will do together. But this was $1.74, something like that. But check out the eye of the needles here, and the length. You see the length, how they're varying, and you see these right here, the circles. So I've needed this type of needle for quite some time. And a lot of different projects I do, I'm always really needing something like that, and I don't have it. So for $1.74, it was well less than two, you know, yeah, it was around there. But the eye of the needles, you see, some of them are very wide, like this very long one, and then they get a little bit smaller. But the perfect size right here for Boro Sashiko is this one right here, because it's nice and long, it's got an eye, it's not too wide. So you know the needle is too big if it is, you know, putting a hole in the fabric. So with that, we're gonna go over these, and okay. So these beads, as you know, I got at the thrift shop, and someone put a little dab of paint on there, and these are glass beads, and they're just, it's wild because they match these purple. So I did decide I'm going to put those on the purple, so that is going to happen. But today I'm taking these little ones like these blue, and let me just get this. I also have here, I have more beads. And I have this I got from the thrift shop so long ago, but I love it because you can clip it easily with a scissors, and you can, for example, let's say I don't have the little gnome. Let's say you need a little gnome or a bunny or something, you want to dress it up. This, and I've done that, and you can put, you know, like a little necklace on it. I mean, these are perfect for decorating your little creatures or whatever it is you're making. And this is just something I had put all of my beads on a wire there. So here I took out some wooden beads. I'm going to take them back out. I took out some wooden beads I want to use to put on the stars. And if you look at the stars, you see how they're, I did the sashiko stitching, I had painted them, and I told you the other day, I shared with you, I am not going to use a different color of sashiko stitching. I'm going to use the same color. And we started here with the yellow, and I used the yellow. And then after I got off the camera, I'm like, I want to try and see what the contrast looks like, because even though I'm getting texture, which I wanted the texture, because I wanted the consistency of varying textures throughout this piece, it was not cutting it for me. So I did use different color sashiko, crochet lacy thread, and I really like the way it pops. So I did that with the purple. I'm using a light blue. Here I'm using green on the yellow. I really loved it. And then some of them I did just stay the same color. So this one is red. And I'm just loving it. So I'm not strategizing highly right now where to put the beads. And I'm doing varying beads. So I'm just going to take a sip of my coffee. Thank you so much for being with me today and having a cup of coffee with me. Happy Friday. So in this is just a bunch of beads I've gotten over time. And so I like this white one. We'll use that, and the wooden ones, and some blue, more blue, because we've got red, blue, and a wooden one. And now they have to be, like this one wouldn't work right now really for me in this project, because I really want them, I don't want to use a thin needle and thin yarn, thread on this project. I want to stay with the lacy crochet thread because it's very hardy, and I want to stay with the larger beads. Okay, so let's see. Oh, I've got another white. I didn't realize I had that one. I've got more beads, and I got another different shaped blue. And do I have a red? I don't. I have I can always paint the white red if I really want a red to pop. Okay. This is like green. I don't know if you can see that. It's a dark green. Sometimes these subtle colors, the earthen colors, when you add them, they just add so much to the project. So this is very interesting. Here, check that out. That's kind of what is that actually, like an amber? No, it's not an amber. It is kind of rusty color. It's like a yellow, it's like a brown yellow. It's lovely. I like it. It's different. So we'll take a few of those out. Okay, now, and then I toyed around with, should I kind of have shells added to this? Like, should I add shells? And I'm like, no, I'm not going there, because it would be too busy, and I don't want to take away from the statement. Now, with these, because they're all wide-eyed, I can use a nice a wide-eyed embroidery needle, not too wide-eyed, because I don't want to really puncture the fabric, but this is pretty good. This one actually, I'll show that right there. This one actually, the eye, if you can see, is a little short. It's wide, but it's a little short. So, okay. So we're going to take some lacy crochet thread is what I'm using. And I may have to get back up and get my scissors. And of course I do, because I forgot them. So I am going to grab a pair, and I will be right back. Oh, yeah, so let me show you while I'm up. I'll get the knot. Or the bunny. We'll do the bunny here. Okay, because I do want to show you this. If you find a piece that I don't know, you could probably find these, I bet you any money, in like a Hobby Lobby store. But I got these at the thrift shop, and I just love these. So you can take a little string of it, you know, and kind of decorate the bunny, let's say, that you're making. You know what I mean? I mean, is that just too darn cute? You know? And, or, you know, well, not so much the gnome, but you get the idea. You can put a little necklace on the gnome if you want to. So that was the idea I had with these. And so we'll put those over here. Now the other thing is, I was toying around with this crocheted rose that I made a long time ago. And I was thinking of, you know, putting a little, some of the beads in the middle of that and kind of dressing up the rose, and then kind of having, sewing it on in between the stars and down around the polar bear. But the thing is, okay, this is large, but I could crochet and make it smaller. The way that you do this, there's two ways to make the rose. If you're crocheting, just make a long strip. And what some people do is they start with a single row, and then when they do the next row, you know, they have two, and then they come maybe like 3/4 the way back, and so for the third row, and then they go back, and then when you come back, you're coming back maybe like a quarter. You know, basically you're staggering rows. So when you roll up the rows to make a rose, you get a nice effect. Or you can do the scalloped effect, which is a lovely, and we'll go over that kind of stuff. But anyway, just for you, just to give you ideas. So, okay, so today this is what we're doing. We're adding more beads to this apron, and I'm feeling like the statement is coming to fruition. And you're probably thinking, well, Carmella, what do the beads have to do with the stars? Well, the beads are, so first of all, the beads are recycled materials, but the beads kind of emphasize the star, okay? Now here it is, right here. So they emphasize it, they bring it out, they add to the aesthetic, and they give it texture. And that's kind of what I'm looking for right now in this part of the design, in this part of the project. So I hope everyone's doing good out there. Is anyone working on any special projects? And Boro inspired. We're going to be doing some Kawandi inspired, we're going to do a Kawandi inspired project next, by the way. But okay, so first I'd like to kind of get white here. And now you really can add these beads the way you want. You can add them on the side, kind of emphasizing them on their side, or just, you know, lay them flat, which is just a nice way to do it too. I mean, that's fine. And just kind of makes it a little bit easier for you. But since the last time I saw you, I did add some patches to the straps here. So I will be reinforcing those straps, the patches. I'll be reinforcing the patches and kind of spiffying them up. And I wanted to talk to you about how long it took me to put on those patches, and kind of have you guess if you haven't done it. If you have done it, then you'll have a good idea on how long it takes. But if you haven't done it, do you have any idea how long it took me to put on this really small patch? It's just a little small patch right there. And I'm not really quite done. That's not adhered as completely as I'd like it to be. And this one came out really nice. I'm loving that. I just added that since the last time I saw you too. So Okay, so this one, I guess I was talking a bit. Let me just pull this up. Okay, we're gonna leave it like that for the moment. Actually, I am gonna clip this because I went too far over because I was talking. Which is okay. That's part of the process. Is it does take concentration for sure. So we're gonna thread this again, and I hope everyone's having a beautiful Friday. Like I said, it's sunny here. It's about 80 something degrees. There's still little waves of humidity here and there, but it's basically cool. Now I am starting from the back and I'm centering the bead as much as I can here. Looking for the center of it. And then I just really do, I go around it as many times as I think it needs for it to be adhered and centered well. So what was happening there for a second is it wasn't centering really well. It was pulling over to the side. And part of it was me not paying attention. So that's why you really do have to, it's nice to have music on when you're working, or something, yes, you can listen to, that you don't have to look up at, like the weather or documentary, if you feel things are getting monotonous, or, have somebody on speakerphone you're talking to. So, but I welcome everybody here today. I thank you so much for being with me. And I hope you're having a beautiful day. If you have any questions on your projects, if you're trying to create something with recycled materials, you're not sure if it will work, I say the best thing to do is try, but before you do that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with getting consultation to help you along in the process. I'm trying to turn this so you can see it. Now, does thread have to be the same as the bead? In the work that I do, it does not, because I'm looking for the intricacies of the design of how it's made. I mean, one of the things I try to emphasize, and I really don't even know how to explain this, is the whole concept of making, of sewing, of creating with scrap fabrics, kind of goes in line, anyway, for me, being made in a raw way, being made in a way that's not necessarily highly skilled, if I can say it that way. And I'm really speaking for myself. I like to mirror the simple. It doesn't mean that the simple methods that were used in the 1400s were always a simple type of mending or sewing or repairing. But for me, I like to keep it in the basic realm. I like to keep it in the realm where anybody can pick up the sewing needle and thread and create. They can create. They can upcycle. They can reflow. They can definitely. There's skills that can be taught and learned. But if you want to do, certain, you want to create something your way. For example, when I made this polar bear, I had not a clue this was going to come out this way. I need to sip my coffee. I had not a clue. These t-shirts were rolled. As you know, they kind of have a rolling effect when you cut them or rip them. That's a t-shirt fabric. May have a little spandex or something in them. Over here I'm going to use a wooden bead. Okay. I'm sorry it's not on the camera really well. I'm going to move this and try to, I'm first just trying to get my angle. And I have all these beads here. I don't want them to fall. We'll put those over here. We could give the polar bear an eye for a bead too. I think we'll do that. I'll have to find a really small one though, and one that I think is going to go really well with the polar bear. But so anyway, yeah, I want the concept of using scrap to really go along with the idea that making something in the raw sense of just stitching it together to get a garment or something together is, in my view, is connected. It's what it's all about. I mean, really, if we don't have the sewing machines and, you know, whatever, we don't have technology for a little while, or for some reason, you know, maybe we go off the grid. Maybe somebody goes off the grid and they do definitely want to just, you know, kind of sew and make things the way they want to make them. I think that's fabulous. I think it's absolutely fabulous. I think that's a whole design in itself, and it's unique, it's original, it's just amazing. I just love the idea of it. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing fitted garments for sure. That's takes high skill, and that's amazing too. But this is just a different type of idea. Okay, so I'm really loving these beads. Can you see them? Okay, here. You see the beads? I got all my art stuff over here, so, you know, it's really hard to, you know, when I first moved in here, I was, I don't know, it was kind of weird. I felt like a visitor in my own home. I kept putting everything away every night. I was putting it, I kid you not, I did this right up to last week. And I'm like, you know, I'm tired. I'm leaving everything out. There's no reason to put it away. I mean, where's it going to go? Oh my God. And so it's all over here now, but anyway, a lot of what I'm working with anyway. Okay, so I kind of want to kind of mix these up a little bit. So, and I'm going to have to move these up here so they don't fall, because I need to move this. And now, but that's my little pile of beads that we're pulling from. Ah, one hit the floor. I knew that was going to happen. Anyway, we know where it is. We will get it. But, so I love the blue. So I'm going to come over here. This is a teeny tiny little store. But I'm going to, let me see if I put the blue there. Hang on a second. And, oh, and this green. The green might pop a little better on that blue. And that's really small. But it might pop a little better. And then over here on the orange. Oh, I'm loving that. I'll leave the blue on the blue and the green on the orange. Okay, so we'll do that first. And we have plenty of beads. I'm so glad I got those beads. And I still have a whole, these are all glass beads. And I still have a whole string I had shared with you of actually glass. And then I have another string of plastic beads that were a belt that somebody made. And they had it in the, because it's old, they had it in the thrift shop. And so I look for things that are maybe aesthetically appealing in some kind of a project for me later on. I may not even know what that project is, but I'm in the thrift shop, it's $2, I'm going to get it. Especially nowadays, right now, as prices are spiking all over the country, and supplies are, you don't see it yet, but they are diminishing. We may not, certain things we may not be able to get our hands on. I did notice in Walmart, a lot of the shelves are empty, and I did notice it. I was looking specifically for some other craft supplies, and I will be looking in the thrift shop anyway, but I was looking there. There was nothing of what I was looking for. That had me a little concerned. So anyway, all the more reason to keep your eyes peeled when you are in the thrift shop. Okay, so this is just lovely. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you, I'm really very happy I'm done finishing up this apron. I just need to stitch the sides and the kind of spiffy up the straps here and stitch. Anyway, these took, as small as they are, they took about 40 minutes. And I have longer, I could easily spend an hour on that one little patch. And the reason is, you know, you're not doing it, you know, like based on the clock and how fast can you go, number one. Secondly, yeah, you know, it's a process. You're kind of, it's a creative process. So you're trying to figure out, you know, you know, how you're doing your stitches. Do you want to do them horizontal and, you know, vertical or all horizontal, and like that. So, and you want to do them well. You want to make sure you are stitching and they are adhering well. In other words, you're not doing loose stitches, you're not doing, you know, half there and half here. Okay. So, okay, so we have these. There are so many stars here. So the stitching of the stars took me a lot of time. So let me just count them. We don't have to put beads in every single one, but I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. But let's count them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. That's what I thought. 18 stars. So there's 18. So that's what I've been stitching when we started these the other day, and stitching them. I stayed up really late, like, I don't know, it was late, and I wanted to get the stitching done. So I love this green. So we're going to put that green glass bead right here. And I'm going to kind of put that one on the side. And you're like, well, Carmella, why are you putting some on the side and you're putting some standing up? Because I want the eye to flow differently. The eye is going to, your eyes, when you look at something, you don't realize, but your eyes are picking up differences before your mind might really acknowledge it, or if you decide to acknowledge it. So your eyes are flowing with the colors, the textures. I learned this from an artist named Romare Bearden, who was pretty well known. I think there's maybe even a book out on him. My mother was an artist, as you know, but she brought me to meet him. I was about 9. I used to meet artists and they used to teach me things. And the one thing he taught me was that the eye flows to something different, the next object. And he showed me angles. Like if your eye will fall on one certain part of a painting, for example, and people out there right now, I know the artists who have gone to the colleges know this, but he was a genius, this guy. And he said, yeah, your eye is going to automatically look for the differences on the canvas. It's just going to flow to the next most beautiful aesthetic. That's just the way it is. If it's not beautiful and it's obtuse or it's overt, it will flow there. And that's just the way it is. You know, and that's how we're made. We're going to go to the most interesting, curious part or whatever of the canvas or whatever it is you're working on. So, okay, so we've got that beautiful, beautiful green. And so let's see, up here we've got red, yellow. And so how do I decide where the eye is flowing? So for those of you who are interested, I will look at this piece at this point in my project, and for me, will decide where's my eye flowing. Where is my eyes flowing? Okay, what is it that I want to see next? What is it that is appealing to me right now? And what is kind of the vibe I want? And you know, you're not kind of like dissecting it like that, like consciously, but these are the things. Virgilio, can you speak slow? I don't know if I can speak slow. And Olga, okay, what are we doing? We are adding decor to this Boro Sashiko Japanese utility apron that we're working on. We're adding the decor. So I'm just kind of going a little bit more in depth with you on how the eye flows with design. We're making a statement that the polar bear, we gave it a title down here, gave it some wording, Night is Fallen, that the polar bear its habitat is in danger because the icebergs are melting, and there was just one on the news the other day, not one, but the iceberg kind of broke off, and in Alaska it caused a tsunami. But anyway, we're adding decor to this apron, and we're using Boro Sashiko method and concept in adding it. So with that, I am just kind of reassessing it and deciding where I am going to add the next bead. So with that, I have got another, you know what this is actually? Guess what? This is jade. That's a jade glass bead. Okay, so we've got this. I'm going to put this back down so you can see. We've got the jade green on the orange. We got white on the purple. Kind of colors that are contrasting to kind of make it pop. And okay, so, and that's basically all we're doing is adding the beads. And I just thought I'd bring you along with me. I'll add a few more and then we'll call it a day. If you have any other questions on this, let me know. I mean, these are large beads and super simple to add, but they're all thrift shop beads. That's the beauty of it. That's the whole concept, is we're making a statement, we're using recycled fabrics, and we're just finding different ways to make it interesting and to do that, to just being a little artistic. So this green one, we have a green over here, and I'm just thinking this would be really nice up here. And yeah, that will be great. That's on purple. Some of the stars are really, really small. And so I just put the needle up through the star. And that's why it's called Night Has Fallen, because it is kind of a sad story that our polar bears are struggling. And it seems like the habitat and natural disasters and the economy and a lot of things are struggling nowadays. But this specific concept is about the bears. And so the stars are just kind of a metaphor for, you know, things are changing and not in a good way for the polar bear. So it's an artistic statement. And as artists out there, you may have something you are very passionate about and you want to share your viewpoint. And, you know, creating art, doing the art is one venue. Okay, so we got that. Anyway, I hope that this inspires you a little bit and helps you kind of get some ideas. And when I do some of my other little crafts, other little things that I want to do, the dragonfly, I have a real creative process in mind. Not that it's never been done before, but it is my idea with kind of my thrift shop items that I have, so I'm just kind of putting those together. So I am going to sit here probably for the rest of the evening and finish putting together this, finish beading, putting the beads on. And yes, I am sewing them on individually and just kind of giving a little texture to this. Hi Rose, how are you? And so it's nearly done. So in the next, and the only other thing we're going to do, what I'm going to be doing, just in case you didn't see the last video, is it says Night is Fallen. This is marker. It's an all marker. So and it's all dry and it's sewn on. So what I'll be doing is spraying a fabric adhesive, which I don't typically do, but I do want a water sealant on this, because if this piece ends up out in the show and it does rain a tiny little bit, the second rain hits that, it's going to, even though it's a permanent marker, it will affect it. So at the beginning. So anyway, we'll get that sealed, and I hope that you enjoyed this project with me. And if you like this hat, and every single hat I make is different. So this hat, I love the little bucket hats that fit just at the ears, because you can turn them up and they just fit so comfortably. So we'll be making more of these, and I'll bring you along with me, but we have a lot of projects. The next project I really want to do is a Kawandi inspired project. And when we do those projects, people have lots and lots of questions on it. And Kawandi is made by the City Women of India, and they create it authentically. What I do is inspired by what they're doing. So I may leave out lots of steps that they do. But anyway, with that, thank you for being with me today. I send you love and light, and I will share with you over the weekend when I get when I'm done with my thrift shopping and share with you that all of what I get. Hopefully what I get. And then hopefully that inspires you. So you have a beautiful, beautiful evening, a Friday, and we'll see you in the next one.